What is up, Earthnoids and Spacenoids? I am just a simple new type, and in this episode, we're returning to the Gundam pilot series of biographies, The Brave Soldiers in the Sky. We already covered Mission 1, the story of Johnny Raiden. Much of Johnny Raiden's story was retconned in his MSVR manga. We will cover the remaining 3 missions, including the stories of Shin Matsunaga, Elliot Rem, and Thomas Curts, minus Caecilia's new type core. These were considered Zeon's best of the best. Actually, Caecilia's new type core wasn't that great. Let's see. You did some damage to Solomon but died. Pass. You died after a long commute from Jupiter. That sucks. You don't exist outside of the books. Get the f out of here. And you became a mobile suit. Anyways, let's not waste any time and let's get into this. Mission 2, Shin Matsunaga. Shin and his team are rushing in towards a Salamis-class ship. He takes out the turrets before the entire ship goes down. It is a graveyard on the battlefield. The date is January 3rd, UC 0079. The mission, Operation British. Island Ivish of Side 2 is on its way towards Earth. It took 4 days to get here. Shin looks out at the horrors. It fails to hit Jaburo. Operation British was a failure. This was written before they officially made it Australia, and they just don't mention the drop zone. Admiral Killing briefs Dozel and Giran on the new colony drop, which ends up being the Battle of Loom. This is the same killing mentioned in Shin's solo story, though it doesn't have any connection to the War in the Pocket killing. The burdens of failure tore at Killing so much that he tried to commit suicide. Dozel didn't think he would take it this far. January 14th, UC 0079. Dozel and Shin begin their mission to attach nuclear pulse engines onto another colony. Like in Shin's solo story, Dozel goes out with his men and his Zaku Dozel custom. However, Shin doesn't convince him to return to his ship this time. He is the only man left in his squad. Dozel calls off the colony drop and tells his men to start focusing on Revel's fleet. Dozel blasts the Salamis with a bazooka, causing it to crash into another Salamis. Nice, 2 for 1. The Battle of Loom was victorious, according to Zeon. No one will ever know that this was actually a failed colony drop. Revel doesn't get captured like in Origin, but they still decide to come to the negotiation table leading to the Antarctic Treaty. Shin visits Killing in the hospital. His father and brothers weren't really in his life. He and Dozel were best friends since kids, and Killing is very much their mentor. In the past, his father was mad at him for joining the military. He attended a party where the Matsunagas were meeting with the Yashimas, who were working with EFF. This caused a rogue Zeon team to attack the party trying to kill Yashima, but in the end it was Shin's father who was killed. After the Battle of Loom, Shin joined the Earth Attack Force under Garma Zabi. They will be concentrating on North America. The first landing operation was successful. Garma tells Shin that he is envious of he and Dozel's relationship, even though he is Dozel's blood. The second and third landing operation followed, but that is when White Base took down Garma Zabi. After this, the Federation pushed their way towards Odessa, and Zeon found themselves being pushed back into space. Shin is now at Solomon, but Giran recalls all officers back to Side 3. As he heads out, G-men stop him, but someone in a normal suit kills them and the 2 flee. It seems those being recalled back to Side 3 are being assassinated. Killing sent her to save Shin. This is one of the reasons why Dozel was abandoned at Solomon, leaving him to pilot the Big Zam himself. The solar ray has hit Solomon. Killing's men find that Giran is trying to justify using the solar ray, while Shin tries to make his way back to Side 3. The Gundam strikes down Dozel and the Big Zam. Shin seeks revenge on Giran Zabi, but as he goes to kill him, Caecilia beats him to the punch. On a Baoku, Shin finds Zena and Minova, but Giran sent men to slaughter all her handmaids, and they are about to kill her. Shin kills the men and protects Dozel's family. They were on their way to meet Makuve. Minova, using new type powers, guides Shin to a ship, and they flee to live another day. Mission 3, Elliot Rem. Elliot wants to break from the routine of Side 1 and is heading to Earth Federation University. His girlfriend, Annette, doesn't join him. While on Earth, he is introduced to Minovsky's work. He proved Einstein's unified theory. This is essentially Einstein saying all of the fundamental forces of nature can be summed up in one unified equation. If this theory ever becomes fact, I feel like that's enough evidence to prove this is a simulation. Meanwhile, more Contolist bros from Side 3 are preaching new type theory on Earth. Suddenly, Annette shows up, unannounced. She realizes Earth isn't so great as Elliot made it out to be. He says, "Cool, wanna bang it out? Nice." A man from the Zeonic Corporation pays him a visit. Earth is falling apart and his talents are being wasted. He needs to join their ranks. He moves to Side 3 and ends up working under Dr. Minovsky. Minovsky likes pulling pranks on the youth. Eventually, Giran hires Zeonic to make his Minovsky particles into practical weapons. UC 0068. Zeon Daikum dies, and the Zabis rise in power. They begin testing the Minovsky fusion reactor. One poor sucker dies a horrible death on Test 1. Elliot then becomes the new test pilot, and they start refining it. This looks like the MS-04 prototype Zaku. Now, we already met Elliot once in our coverage. He appeared in the manga developers Mobile Suit Gundam before the 1 Year War. Zeonic ended up not making it themselves and subcontracted the prototype Zaku to Hoshioka Industries, where Elliot oversaw the project. He eventually bailed on the project as he doesn't want to make weapons of war, but was eventually arrested. However, others have fled or were assassinated, and now they need his expertise. He does so only if they start building civilian mobile suits as well. He begins working on the MS-05A, UC-0077. They begin rollout of the MS-06A. Giran strong-arms Elliot into joining the military, knowing he doesn't really have a choice if he wants to continue his work. January 3rd, the one-week war breaks out. He realizes that his work has caused so much damage. But then he saw many men and their dying breath praise the MS-6A. The Zaku has become a symbol for Zeon. Annette is now his wife and they have a daughter. The two flee to Side 6. After he dislocates his shoulder in a test, Zeonic wants him to abandon the MS-6, but he thinks that he could get more life out of it. EFF is starting to catch up, but he can't pilot anymore. The test pilot that ends up pushing the 06A to its limits is Johnny Raiden. This birthed the MS-06R2, aka the High Mobility type. A Bawaku has fallen. EFF raids Zeonic to find Elliot working on what looks like the MS-06R1A. He thinks the 06 can still be pushed further. This man is so consumed that not only did he not know that Zeon has moved past the Zaku, but also he didn't realize the war is over. After the war, Elliot is reunited with his family. Mission 4, Thomas Curts. EFF, Baikonur Base. Sergeant Curts, along with a mix of Air Force, Marines, and Navy, have all gathered to the 69th Squadron. Nice. March UC-0078. Their simulations are built around giant humanoids, and he doesn't seem to get it. This is the RX program, and their data is being sent directly to Tim Ray. He is from Earth, but his parents immigrated from Side 3, so people give him a lot of shit and say he is Zeon blood. During the colony drop, their squad went on a search and rescue mission in Australia, and Curts was left behind. Garma's Earth Attack Force begins its invasion. His squad is obliterated, and Curts goes AWOL. A Zeon pilot and her squad are hanging out in a random city when Curts tries to steal the Zaku. They are amazed that he made it as far as he did, but he is captured by a pilot named Janice. He tells Zeon he just wants to kill a man and could care less about EFF. Liking his talent, the Zeon commander assigns him to Janice's team. This commander is Roy Greenwood, who we discussed in our coverage of Johnny Raiden. Curts is assigned infantry on the front lines of the Zeonic front. He kept surviving, so they gave him a Zaku. He became a good luck charm on the battlefield. His talents led to him becoming a commissioned officer. October 4th, Garma dies and EFF starts making their push towards Odessa. Curts and Janice run into their first EFF mobile suit, the Gym. It happens to be his old racist commander, Crichton. It appears their squadron was training to be mobile suit pilots. Crichton retreats. Roy Greenwood heads to the African front and leaves Janice in Curt's hands. The front is pushed back to his childhood home. He realizes that Earth was not the promised land his parents made it out to be. He kisses Janice, but an explosion goes off. Other Zeon soldiers are shot down. It is Crichton and his men. Suddenly, Janice shoots two of his men, but Crichton kills Janice and runs away. He mourns her death. A Bawaku. Curts is piloting a Galgud cannon taking out gems left and right. He once again faces off with Curts. He is overwhelmed and is attacked. He is a dead man walking, but he is able to slice through Crichton's gem and kill him. He gets out of the Galgud and drifts out into space, embracing death. His last words were, "I love you, Janice." And that will conclude Gundam Pilot Series of biographies, The Brave Soldiers in the Sky. I am glad we could finally fill in the gaps of some of these ace pilots. Like Johnny Raiden's MSV solo manga, Shin Matsunaga's story is slightly different from what we see here, even though half has been retconned. Many of your favorite pilots began here in this manga. We will continue our Shin Matsunaga coverage, where we will learn more about the man who tried to assassinate him. And be sure to check out the developer's manga. It feels like not too many people know of that story. Curts will make an appearance in Shin Matsunaga's story as well. But other than that, his only other appearance is the game Encounters in Space. But that will do it for now, new types. Remember to not wear your Zeon apparel outside of a con. You know why. Peace.